I'm going to be showing you how to get all the collectibles in the Apokolips hub world area within LEGO DC Supervillains. Let's get started. Alright, so we're kicking things off with a side quest. This one's called Relationship Repair, and it's going to be found in the very bottom left corner of the Apokolips map. And so we're going to fly over here to this island, and this character named Mr. Miracle is going to be waiting for us. So we're going to wave our hand in front of him and talk to him for a bit to activate this side quest. So for this one, we're going to have to infiltrate Granny Goodness's room in order to gather a few different items. So the side quest starts off where you're just following him up to the room. You will get interrupted by some Parademons, but Mr. Miracle is able to trick them, and they will allow you to proceed without having to fight them, which is nice. So we're going to walk up some steps here, and we'll be on the outside of Granny Goodness's room. You can see the giant G on the door there. And so what we're going to have to do now is switch over to a character like Batman and use his sensing ability to reveal one of these batarang switches just above her door. And once that's been revealed, you can throw the batarang up there and get the door open. So once we're inside, just start destroying everything in here in order to gather 3 different items. The first one's going to be over here in this cabinet on the right side, so just punch it and you'll be able to grab the picture. That's 1 out of 3. There's going to be this dresser over here that you can punch. That's going to be 2 out of 3. Then inside the bed is going to be the final item, which looks like a teddy bear. And so once you have all 3 of these items, he will say that's enough and walk outside the room. He's going to talk for a little bit longer, and then you will unlock Mr. Miracle as a playable character. Continuing on with another side quest, this one's called Fury-ous Fisticuffs, and it's going to be found in the bottom left corner of Apokolips. So we're going to fly over here, and this character named Big Barda is going to be waiting for us. Now, initially I had a bug where I couldn't talk to her, but I flew away and came back, and then I was able to talk to her and activate the side quest just fine. And so once we get done talking, there's going to be a whole bunch of enemies that start spawning around you, and this quest is pretty much just a beat 'em up. So there's going to be all these different civilian-looking enemies that spawn in from, I guess, the multiverse, because they're coming through these red portals from everywhere. And we just have to beat up 20 of them in total, I believe. So we're just going to go around and keep beating them up until it says 20 out of 20. And once you knock out all of those guys, she will start talking to you again. And once she gets done talking, you will unlock Big Barda as a playable character. Next, we're going to switch over to our first gold brick here in Apokolips, and this one's called Heated Hallway. It's going to be found in the bottom middle of the map, and so once we arrive here, this is going to be a multi-step one, so it's going to be several different things we have to do. And the first thing you're going to notice is a Scarecrow canister in the corner that requires 3 different ingredients for Scarecrow's toxin. So the main goal here is to gather those 3 ingredients. Now the first one is kind of a freebie, so if you just walk up the steps, there's going to be this spider ingredient just sitting out in the open, so we can pick that up using Scarecrow. And then there's also going to be some poles out here that we can swing on using an acrobatic character like Harley Quinn. So we're going to switch over to her and swing on these 3 different poles. And the last one is going to open up the door to where the gold brick is. So that's one step into getting closer to that gold brick. So when we walk in here, there's actually going to be another Scarecrow ingredient. There's going to be a skull there sitting on the lava. There are some spikes there, so you have to try to time it correctly, but it's not a big deal if you time it wrong. You can just kind of jump in there and quickly grab the item. So now we have 2 out of 3 Scarecrow ingredients. So we're just going to go ahead and deposit those 2 into the canister. Then over here on the opposite side of where the Scarecrow canister is, there's going to be an electrical panel. So we're going to charge that up using a character like Grid. That's going to disable those spikes that are in that room with the gold brick. So that's another step down. And then we just have to grab the last Scarecrow ingredient. So if you walk down this catwalk over to the opposite side of where the gold brick is, there's going to be a pumpkin item. And that is the final of the 3 items that we need for Scarecrow's toxin. So we're going to deposit that last item into the canister. And now we will have the toxin ready. We can deposit it over here into this vent. So we'll hold the B or circle button to do that. That'll cause the Parademons to get all scared through the toxin, and then the gold brick will be wide open for the taking. So now we can head back over there to the hallway and walk in there and grab the gold brick for Heated Hallway. Next up is going to be a gold brick, and this one's called #PhotoBrag. And this is going to be found in the south middle side of Apokolips. And so we're going to fly over here into this building, and this is going to be a multi-step one. There's just going to be a lot of things we have to do. They're going to make us work for this gold brick. And once we get in here, there's going to be this woman who's like trying to get likes on social media or something like that. And so we have to do several different things in order to help her do that. So first off, there's going to be one of these super speed treadmills. So by this point, you should know what to do. Switch over to a fast character like Flash or Reverse Flash, then mash that X or square button in order to get to one of these purple Speed Force portal areas where you have to go around and collect 10 different LEGO objects. And once we do that, there's going to be a cutscene where the Flash builds up this Wi-Fi router, I think, and then she'll be able to connect to the social media. Now we just have to get that like bar all the way up. So she's going to give you some buildable Lego objects. We're going to build that into an electrical panel. So we're going to switch to a character that can use those, like Livewire, and this is one of those circuit board maze mini games that the game has you do quite a bit. So we have to go through the maze and flip that red switch. And once we do, that's going to power on this background. She's going to jump outside of the lava there, and she's going to have us take a picture of her out there. So we're going to pull out the camera by hitting the LB or L1 button, depending on what console you're on, and that'll raise that like meter just a little bit. And so we're going to have to do a couple more things in order to get that bar filled a little bit more. So she's going to give you some buildable Lego objects here. One's going to build into a bike, and the other one's going to build into a regular treadmill, not one of the super speed ones. And so she's going to be on the treadmill, and she's going to want you to take another picture of her while she's kind of posing on it. So again, we're going to hit the LB or L1 button and take a picture of her, and that'll raise that like meter just a little bit more. So it's almost full, but we still have a few more steps to do. So there's going to be some parademons on the outskirts of this building that we're on. So what we have to do is get them to follow us. So we're going to head outside here, and there's going to be a parademon that we can mind control using the Riddler. And so we're going to mind control him and cause him to walk into the middle room where that woman is. And so now that we got that parademon into place, or both of those, we're going to head to the other side and repeat the exact same thing. We're going to walk outside to this balcony area. There's going to be another parademon standing out here. We're going to mind control him with the Riddler, get him in the middle room next to the woman, and we'll be good to go. So now we're going to head back into the room, and she's going to stand in this hallway and have us take one last selfie of her. So we'll just need to hit the LB or L1 button one more time to pull out the camera, take a picture of her. That'll be the final one. That'll raise the like meter all the way up, and it's actually connected to this treasure chest. And so that's going to open the chest, and inside is going to be the gold brick for #PhotoBrag. Continuing on with another gold brick, this one's called Matrimony and Magma, and it's going to be found in the bottom right hand corner of the Apokolips map. And so when we get over here, there's going to be lava everywhere, and this one actually reminds me quite a bit of the final level of episode 3 in Lego Star Wars the video game, where there's lava everywhere and you're jumping between these different rock platforms. So there's going to be 4 henchmen that we have to recruit, but to do that, they each need a little bit of help first. So first off, switch to a telekinetic character like Constantine and just use their telekinetic abilities on 2 different platforms. That'll help out 2 of the henchmen. And there's going to be a Lego object on the side of that wall that you can shoot with any character that you want. And so once you do those 3 things, you're going to be set up to rescue these henchmen. So we have to go around and do some platforming with a character like the Riddler, and just get close to them and tap the B or circle button to recruit them on your team. Just make sure you don't fall into the lava, because I believe if you do that, you're going to have to start from the beginning again and start recruiting them all. So we're just jumping between these different platforms and recruiting all 4 of them. Once you have all 4 of them recruited, just make your way back over here to the starting area and tap the B or circle button to get them all to line up and help you up the large cliff side here. So you'll be able to use a trampoline to jump up here, and once you get up here, just wait a few seconds and they're going to be able to open up this treasure chest for you. And once they get it open, you can go ahead and grab the gold brick for Matrimony and Magma. Okay, next up is a side quest, and this one's going to be called Baddie Issues, and it's going to be found just a little bit to the right in the Apokolips area. So we're going to fly over here to this cliffside, and Orion is going to be waiting for us, so we're going to wave our hand in front of him to activate this side quest. And so this turns out to be Darkseid's son, and he's kind of mad that Darkseid has neglected him, even though he knows the anti-life equation that Darkseid cares about so much. So Orion's just going to want to go around and trash Apokolips. So this is going to be one of those kind of escort missions where we're just following Orion around, and every now and then we're going to get attacked by a bunch of enemies. We have to take them out, and you just keep doing that until you reach the final destination. So we took out that first wave of parademons, and now we're going to be moving into this Coliseum area, kind of moving along the outskirts here. And once we get to this section, there's going to be several more parademons that pop out. And so using Superman, just because he doesn't take any damage, we can quickly take out all of these enemies. There's a lot of parademons spawning in. They're like spawning in from the multiverse through these red portals. And once we take them all out, some of them are going to be armored, which takes a little bit more effort to defeat them. And once we take them all out, Orion will continue his rampage through Apokolips. So we're going to continue following him around. And eventually he's going to reach this central platform here, and this is going to be where the side quest ends. But there is going to be one final wave of enemies here, and this is a pretty big wave. So we're just going to keep taking out these enemies. Now, some of them will have gold Lego object vests on, so you will need to use a character like Superman and his laser vision in order to melt down that gold vest to defeat them. So they did put some effort into these enemies on this one. But once you take them all out, he'll start talking to you, and you will unlock Orion as a playable character. Next is going to be a gold brick called Lasers and Lectrics, and it's going to be found on the right side of Apokolips in the middle of this Coliseum area. And so at the middle of this platform, there's going to be this stack of wood that has the gold brick inside, and so what we have to do is fire a laser in the middle of that. So to do that, we have to get the laser going. So if you fly over here underneath this throne, there's going to be this electrical panel on the wall, so we're going to switch to a character that can charge that up, like Livewire or Grid. And so once that's been charged, that'll power up this machine, and it'll shoot a laser over here in the middle, but it won't be pointing at the stack of wood that's at the bottom of the platform. So in order to do that, what we have to do is head down here to the middle, and there's going to be an aiming pad on the ground, so we're going to switch to a character that can use those, like Deadshot. And so we're going to tap the B or circle button and aim at this middle bouncing pad. It's going to cause this bullet to bounce around, which is going to reflect the laser into the stack of wood. It's going to light it on fire, and that will allow you to grab the gold brick for Lasers and Lectrics. Continuing on with another gold brick, this one's called Fire and Fury. It's going to be found on the right side of Apokolips in the middle of this Coliseum area, and this one actually counts towards the Game Guru Open World Challenge, where we have to go around the open world and play several different mini-games, and this is one of them. So here we're going to have to hop on this sentry turret and shoot 25 different Parademons in order to get the gold rank within a minute time limit. This should be really easy. Just hold down the shoot button to start shooting at all these different Parademons. I believe I got over 40 of them within a minute, so yeah, they give you plenty of time to do this, and all you need is 25. So we're just going to keep shooting at all these different Parademons. I think I get up to, let's see, 46 of them. And once we do that, it'll then hand you the gold brick, so we can just walk on over there and grab the gold brick for Fire and Fury. This next gold brick is probably the easiest one in Apokolips. This one's called In the Darkness, and it's going to be found near the middle of the map. And so there's going to be this building with this room on top that's really dark. And so all you have to do is switch to a character that can light up dark areas, like Scarecrow, or even Batman, I believe, works as well. And so we're going to walk inside, use his light ability, and grab the gold brick for In the Darkness. Okay, so next up is going to be this side quest called Stompa Stomper, and it's going to be found a little bit to the right in the middle of Apokolips. And so inside this building, this character named Bronze Tiger is going to be waiting for us. So I'm going to wave our hand in front of him and start talking to him to activate this side quest. And so he wants to fight Stompa, but he wants to gather intel on him first. So the objective here is to go around Apokolips and talk to 5 different NPCs to gather different information on Stompa and then report that back to Bronze Tiger. So this first one's going to be pretty close to where you start the side quest. This Parademon is going to be right here, and you just have to tap the B or circle button in order to talk to them and gather the intel. So that's the first one. We're going to head over here to the left side of the map. Inside this green chamber room is going to be the second Parademon that we can talk to. And so it shows you all their locations using those yellow icons on the map. And so it's just a matter of flying over there and then just looking in the general area until you find the Parademon to talk to. So this third one is going to be in front of Darkseid's chamber room here next to that lava. So we're going to talk to that Parademon. That just leaves 2 more, which are both going to be found on the right side. I believe this fourth one gave me a little bit of trouble finding it because things can be a little tricky to find here on Apokolips. There's a lot of different rooms and buildings that you can walk into, and there's a lot of different levels too, like up and down. There's a lot of verticality here on Apokolips. So I started looking in that room, but it wasn't correct, and he's actually going to be inside this room with this opening here. So we're going to fly in here and tap the B or circle button to talk to this Parademon. So that's going to be number 4 out of 5. And the 5th one is going to be just outside of this Coliseum. So we're going to talk to him. He's got a chef's hat on. And so once we talk to all 5 Parademons, we can now report this information back over to Bronze Tiger. So there's going to be 5 different options that we can tell him. There's going to be 2 correct ones. So the first one's going to be Stompa seems, blah, blah, blah. So we're going to give him that information, and if you get the wrong one, it's no big deal. You can just choose the next one. But the second correct answer is going to begin with Stompa shakes. He's going to talk to you for a little bit longer, but once he gets done, you will unlock Bronze Tiger as a playable character. Okay, next is a gold brick, and this one's called Krypto-might need some help. And this one's going to be found pretty much right in the middle of the Apokolips map. And so we're going to fly over here, and there's going to be this building that we need to get inside. And so on the nearby rooftop, there's going to be a weak piece of flooring here, so we can destroy that using a strong character like Grid, Superman, any sort of big fake character, and Jimmy Olsen, of all people, is going to be here on Apokolips. So there's going to be one of these walls that has orange handles on it, so once again, we can use a strong character like Grid, Superman, any big fig to pull on that. And then this glowing green Jimmy Olsen is going to disable this green laser force field there, and behind it is going to be a glass Lego object wall, so we can use reverse flash to destroy that. You could also use someone like Batman, and that's going to get you inside this teleporter room where Jimmy Olsen is revealed to be an evil clone of Jimmy Olsen, and he's going to give you two different options with two different levers. One sends him to Earth, and the other sends him to the Sun. Now, it doesn't actually matter which lever that you pull. Both of them will send him to Earth, where the daily planet is in Metropolis. So again, it doesn't really matter. I just pulled on the left lever. He's going to teleport away, and then you'll be able to grab the gold brick for Krypto-might need some help. Continuing on with another gold brick, this one's going to be called Hot Tub, and it's going to be found on the left side of the Apokolips map. So once we arrive here, there's going to be this lava hot tub here with a purple force field above it, and so the first thing we have to do is rotate this bridge around underneath, which is going to line up next to this Parademon where he's floating there in the lava. And so what we have to do is blow up that silver Lego object float that he's on. So to do that, we have to get underneath the force field. And so conveniently on the side here, there's going to be a hatch here that Joker's chattering teeth can go through. So we're going to pull out the Joker, pull out his chattering teeth, and cause it to explode on that Parademon. And that's going to be 1 out of 3 Parademons. So once we do that, we're just going to repeat the same thing again by rotating this platform around to align it up with another Parademon that's sitting under there. Then we can head over here to the top right corner, and there's going to be another one of these hatches for a remote control chattering teeth. And so we're going to move that across the bridge, blow it up, and that'll be number 2 out of 3 for the Parademons. And so now we just have to do this one more time by going back up here to the middle and rotating this thing around to line up with the final Parademon. Then we can head to the bottom right corner here, and one last time pull out Joker's chattering teeth and move it all the way to the end of the bridge. But this time there will be a cutscene that interrupts you, and he's just going to give up and hand you the gold brick instead. So you can just use the chattering teeth to move across to the other end and pick up the gold brick for Hot Tub. Next, we're going to switch over to our first race here on Apokolips. This one's called Tour de Apokolips, and it's going to be found in the bottom middle area of the map. And so right above the Granny Goodness building here, we can start this race by using any flying character. And so it's going to give you a minute and 20 seconds to fly through 22 different checkpoint rings, and we're going to get to fly all around the Apokolips map here. And the time limit I don't think is too strict on this one. I know in some races it can be strict, but the majority of them I think it gives you plenty of time to do it in. And so we're going to fly through all 22 rings. There's 21, and once you get through the 22nd one, you will unlock Steppenwolf's hover bike as a playable vehicle. Next, we're switching back over to a gold brick, and this one's called How I Met Your Parademon Mother. Wow, what a name for a gold brick in this game. But this one's going to be found on the far left side of Apokolips. So we're going to fly into this little cave area, and there's going to be a few different Parademons that pop out. And you're going to want to switch over to a character like Batman because you're going to need his sensing ability as well as his ability to pull on grapple hook points. So we're going to sense that grapple hook point, then pull on it. That's going to reveal a vent on the floor. So we're going to switch to a character that can go in vents like Clayface, Livewire, anybody like that. And once you get in here, there's going to be a couple more enemies, and there's going to be 3 different wheels that we need to turn, but 2 of them have silver Lego objects on them. So we're going to use Joker's explosive pies to blow those up, and keep playing as the Joker because you're going to have to stand in some toxic waste to pull on the wheel on the right side. And so what you have to do is match the pattern on the right side with the one on the left side. And so to do that, we're going to have to flip the purple wheel 3 different times, I believe, and then this yellow wheel we're going to have to flip 3 different times as well, if I remember correctly. And so that's going to cause the pattern on the left side to line up with the pattern on the right side. Then the red wheel, we just have to hit 1 time. That'll align everything up. Once they both match, this Parademon's going to hop down and hand you a gold brick, which is called How I Met Your Parademon Mother. Next is yet another gold brick, and this one's called Superman Sluggers, and this one's found on the left side of Apokolips, and this actually counts towards the Game Guru Open World Challenge, where you have to go around the open world and play several different minigames. This is one of those minigames. So once you arrive here, this NPC is going to talk to you for a bit, so stand around, wait for him to get done talking, and eventually this Superman punching bag is going to pop out. And so all you have to do is just keep punching on the Superman punching bag within the 15-second or so time limit. As long as you get 1,500 points, which shouldn't be too bad as long as you just keep mashing that X or square button depending on your console, you should be good to go, and the Superman punching bag will fall into the lava. Wait for the NPC to talk to you for a bit, and he will hand you the gold brick for Superman Sluggers. Okay, so this next gold brick is called It Didn't Come from Krypton, and it's going to be found in the top left corner of Apokolips. And so once we arrive here, there's going to be one of these green see-through walls, so we can use a character like Grid or Superman to see through that and line up these 3 different power cables. That's going to turn on this laser beam, allowing you to pull the lever. So the goal here is to have this laser beam hit 4 different targets over here, and to do that, you have to line up these 4 different Lego objects in different positions in order for the laser beam to reflect off of them and hit the 4 targets. So basically what you need to pay attention to here is exactly where I'm moving these different Lego objects. You have to use a grapple hook character to move them, so Batman is a good option. And so once you've aligned them like so, you can pull on the lever, the laser beam is going to fire and hit that target on the right side. That's going to be 1 out of 4 targets. Now we need to reposition these Lego objects again so that they'll hit a different target, and just keep doing that until all 4 targets have been hit. So once they've been aligned like so, we're going to pull on the laser beam again. That'll hit the target in the bottom middle, and that'll be number 2 out of 4. So we just have 2 more to go. And so again, just pay attention to exactly where I'm moving these different pieces around. So I've moved that middle one a little bit over to the left, moved this one up top. It's just a little bit of trial and error. So now we're going to pull on this again. That's going to hit that target in the bottom left. That's going to be at number 3 out of 4. So now we just need to hit 1 more target. And so again, just pay attention to where I'm moving these different Lego objects. And again, it might be a little bit of trial and error, but if you just follow exactly what I'm doing here, you should be good to go. We're going to move this one in the bottom left all the way down, and this one over here on the right side. Push it over here to the left. And so now we're going to pull on this lever one last time. The laser beam is going to reflect and hit that top right target. And once all 4 have been hit, out of this machine is going to be Doomsday of all people. He's going to jump away, and then you can grab the gold brick for It Didn't Come from Krypton. Alright, so this next gold brick is called Cryptic Calculator, and it's going to be found right in the middle of Apokolips, and this is probably one of the harder gold bricks in the game, but I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. So once you arrive here, make sure you're using a character with the sensing ability like Grid or Batman, and that's going to reveal a equation on the roof of this building. And so the goal here is to figure out what number corresponds to each of these symbols, and I'm going to have the solution in the top left corner of the screen. So this first one is going to be sigma minus the smiley Lego face. So sigma corresponds to 7, smiley Lego face corresponds to 2, so it's 7 minus 2 equals 5, and 5 corresponds to the bomb logo. So the answer to the first one is the bomb logo. In the second one, the answer is going to be 3, which corresponds to the anchor logo. So the answer to the second one is the anchor logo. And so that's 4 plus 5 minus 6, so skull and crossbones plus the bomb minus the alpha logo. And so that's the second equation. Then the third one is going to be 9 plus 2 minus 4, which equals 7. And 7 corresponds to the sigma Greek letter. So the answer to the final one is the sigma Greek letter. And you solve this just by looking at these different equations, and it tells you what number each of these correspond to. But I figure I'd just make it a little bit easier by giving you the solution in the top left corner. So once you input those 3 correct answers using a tech-savvy character, it'll give you the gold brick for Cryptic Calculator. Next up is going to be a race. This one's called Pretty Rad Racer, and it's going to be found in the middle left side here in Apokolips. And so once we find this race, it will require a car or motorcycle. So we're going to pull up the vehicle roster and spawn in any car that we want. We're going to do the convertible in this case, turn it around, and spawn it in. We can tap the Y button to hop in, and then tap B to start the race. So this one will have a 1 and 30-second timer on it, and you have to drive through 30 different checkpoint rings, which sounds like a lot, but they're placed pretty close together. And also what makes this one a little bit easier is that there's no traffic here on Apokolips. You know, in Gotham, Metropolis, you have to kind of drive around traffic, but in this case, you don't have to do that. So we're just going to drive through each of these rings, getting close to the end here. There's a couple ramps you have to go off of. And once you go through the 30th ring, it'll unlock Lobo's Space Hog as a playable vehicle. Okay, next up is a gold brick called Fatherbox Fussing, and it's going to be found in the top right area of Apokolips. And so for this one, once we arrive, there's going to be a large cube with 4 silver Lego objects on the side, so we need to blow those up by using a character like the Joker, or in this case, Batman. And we're going to throw a couple of his explosive batarangs there. And once you destroy all 4 of those silver Lego objects, it'll give you a buildable Lego object, which you can build into a techno panel. Then we can use a tech-savvy character like Batman. And what you have to do here is make it so the plus and minus sign is the opposite of what's on the left. So if it's showing a minus sign, make sure it's a plus, and if it's a plus sign, make sure it's a minus. And once you do that a few different times, it'll cause this electrical panel to be revealed on the left side. So then we're going to switch over to a character that can charge that up, like Grid or Livewire. Once that has been fully charged, this Fatherbox will have its power restored, and up top is going to be a gold brick. So all we have to do now is fly up there and grab the gold brick for Fatherbox Fussing. Moving on to yet another gold brick. This one's called Bust, and it's going to be found in the top right corner of Apokolips. And so for this one, once we arrive, basically what we have to do is carve out a portrait of Granny Goodness, and this computer is going to scan it to see how accurate it looks like her. And so the first objective here is destroy this Lego object over here in the corner. And if it doesn't do anything, just wait a few seconds, and eventually it'll give you a buildable Lego object. So we're going to build that into a Green Lantern pad. And so we're going to switch over to Green Lantern or Sinestro, and hold the B or circle button on that, and that's going to begin carving out this portrait. This computer is going to scan it and tell you how accurate it is. It's going to say 24% at first, so we need to get that a little bit closer. And then next up, there's going to be some gold Lego objects, so we're going to switch to a character that can destroy those, like Grid or Superman. Destroy all of those. The computer will scan it again. It'll say it's a little bit more accurate. Now it's at 40%. And then to the left and right, you're going to notice some plants. So we're going to use a character that can control plants, like Poison Ivy. And that's going to form some hair on this Granny Goodness portrait here on the wall. And once you do that, the computer will scan it yet again, and this time the percentage will raise up to 52%, which we're still not there, but he'll kind of just say close enough, and then this chamber is going to open up, giving you the gold brick for Bust. Now, this next gold brick is called Quick Time Event. It's going to be in the very top right corner of Apokolips. This one can be a little bit tricky, but I'll show you how I solved it. So on this building, there's going to be a gold brick behind some bars, and in order to lower those bars, we have to head to the opposite side of the building, and there's going to be a lever that we can pull, but when you pull it, it's only going to lower the bars for a few seconds. So what we have to do is switch over to a speedy character like the Flash, pull on the lever, and then rush all the way over there before the gold brick gets blocked off again. So we'll pull on the lever, wait for the cutscene to end. As soon as it ends, we have about 5 or 6 seconds to rush over to the other side using a speedy character, get inside the room, and grab the gold brick for Quick Time Event. Switching over to a race, this one's going to be called Springboard Palace Showdown. It's going to be found near the middle of Apokolips, a little bit to the north. And so once we reach the start of this race, I do recommend using a flying character for this one. It'll just make getting through some of the checkpoint rings a little bit easier. And so for this one, we have to go through 18 different checkpoint rings within a minute and 10 seconds in order to get the gold ranking and get the vehicle reward at the end. And so we're just going to fly through all these different rings. I believe you're supposed to use like an acrobatic character for this one, like Harley Quinn, but I find using a flying character just to be a little bit easier. And once we go through all 18 rings, we will unlock Darkseid's Hover Destroyer as a playable vehicle. Next up is a gold brick called Steppenwolf's Dirty Lava Laundry. Wow, the names of some of these gold bricks. But this one's going to be found on the northern side of Apokolips, and it actually counts towards the Game Guru Open World Challenge. So this is one of the several different mini-games you have to play across the open world. And so once you arrive here, there's going to be an electrical panel on the wall, so we're just going to charge that up using a character like Grid or Livewire, and that will start the minigame. So the goal here is there's going to be a lit up green brick on the wall, and there's going to be a white brick that's rotating around. And so what you have to do is step on that pad there in the middle, right as the white brick lines up with the green brick, and if you do it successfully, on the right side, you're going to notice one of those arrows turns green. So you have to do this 5 different times, and you can only get it wrong twice, because you can see on the left side, you only have 3 lives. I think I lost a couple lives and only had 1 left. So just make sure you don't mess up more than 3 times, or else you have to start from the beginning again. So there, I messed up the second time. And here comes the next one. They do get a little bit faster each time, so it makes it a little bit trickier to stand on that pad right as it lines up. So that's going to be number 5 out of 5 there, and once you do it all 5 times, you will unlock the gold brick for Steppenwolf's Dirty Lava Laundry. And now for the final gold brick on Apokolips. This one's called Horticulture Horrors, and it's going to be found on the northern side of the map. And for this one, there's going to be this giant plant that's hiding the gold brick. There's going to be this NPC that tells you a little bit about it in this cutscene. But basically the goal here is to destroy some silver Lego objects and ultimately shoot the plant to get the gold brick out of it. So to do that, if you turn around, there's going to be a couple of these plants with silver Lego objects in the middle of them. So we're going to switch over to a character that can blow those up, like Batman and his explosive batarangs. And when you blow them up, it's going to reveal one of these bouncing pads, which we're going to use to aim at and bounce a bullet off of them. Over here down this cliff, there's going to be one final plant that we can blow up there. So we've destroyed 3 of the silver Lego objects on the plants. And so next we need to make our way into this dark building. So use a character that can light it up, like Batman or Scarecrow. And there's going to be a silver Lego object in here as well. So blow that up, and that'll give you a buildable object, which is going to build into one of these aiming pads. So now we can use a character like Batman or Deadshot, aim at this pad on the side of that plant. It's going to bounce off all of them and hit the large green plant at the end, which is going to give you the gold brick. So all we have to do now is make our way over there in front of where that NPC was talking to us earlier, and ultimately grab the gold brick for Horticulture Horrors. Okay, so we are almost done here. This next side quest is called Overthrown, and it's going to be found on the northern side of Apokolips. And if this side quest is not showing up for you, that means you need to go into Darkseid's throne room and put some graffiti on his throne. And once you do that, you can come back out here, and Lobo should be waiting with a side quest. So we're going to talk to him to activate the quest, and he's going to have us follow him into Darkseid's throne room. And as soon as we walk inside, there's going to be a whole bunch of Parademons waiting for us, so we're going to have to take care of them. I'm just going to use Superman to quickly defeat them all without taking any damage. And then once you do, Lobo's going to walk over here to the left side, and so we're just going to follow him up to where Darkseid's throne is. And once you get to the top, there's going to be another wave of enemies that attacks you. This time it just looks like regular civilians. They're not even Parademons. Once we take care of all of them, though, Lobo's going to jump on the throne, and he's going to want you to take a few different pictures of him. So we're going to tap the LB or L1 button, depending on your console, to pull out the camera, and just take 3 different pictures of him on that throne. Just make sure that green box is lined up with his character. And once you do, he's going to talk to you for a bit, and then you will unlock Lobo as a playable character. Lastly, here on Apokolips, we have a boss fight called Doomsday Disagreement. It's going to be found on the right side of Apokolips in the Coliseum area. And so all we have to do is fly in here, and that should automatically start the boss fight against Doomsday. And so as with all of these open world boss fights, I do recommend playing as Superman because he is invincible, so the boss won't be able to hurt you at all. And so Doomsday has 4 hearts of health, and unlike some of the other bosses, he does have quite a bit of invincibility, so most of the time you won't be able to damage him, so you have to wait for him to do his attacks, then you'll have a few seconds to land a couple punches and slowly whittle down his health. He has a few different attacks. He has a charging attack where he'll charge at you, and you have to tap the A or X button to jump out of the way. He's got a slam attack, and then I think he has maybe a few punches that he does as well. Every now and then after you dodge his attacks, he will be open to damage, and once you beat him up enough times, his health will be all the way down, and he will be defeated, and you'll take a little picture in front of his knocked out body there, and afterwards you will unlock Doomsday as a playable character. But guys, that's going to do it for all these side quests and collectibles here on Apokolips and LEGO DC Supervillains. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. Like this video if you enjoyed it, dislike it if not, subscribe for more content like this. I'll see you guys next time here on Quick Break Games.